Lombardi Sweep, the most accurate Packer podcast on the interwebs, I would say. Luke Reimer below me, Janet Wilson, bottom right in Wisconsin, in a Wisconsin hotel, and then Trevor Land on the right. I'm Zach Bruner. I think before we get into the negative stuff and previewing the Christmas Day game, the Pro Bowl rosters were just revealed. So we can go through all of the Packers picks, which there's a lot. We got Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. We got Devontae Adams at wide receiver. And then we got Kenny Clark at interior lineman. And that's about it. Obviously, I can't argue with it. But who do you guys think was the biggest snub in your opinion? Like, Luke, what's yours?
I'm torn between Aaron Jones and Devondre Campbell. Probably leaning more towards Devondre Campbell because Jones is out with injury for a game, and he's been splitting time with AJ Dillon. But if I had to pick, I don't know that I think anyone else on the team absolutely deserves it this year. But if I had to pick, I think Devondre Campbell's my pick. Maybe I'll throw Preston Smith in the ring too.
I agree.
I don't think they even have an interior linebacker here, or inside linebacker. What's going on?
It's the NFL. Did you expect?
Fred Warner's not in here. Why? They have defensive end, interior lineman, outside linebacker, cornerback, free safety, strong safety. This is on NFL.com. I assume somebody didn't write it. They have to have that, right?
You'd think so.
Trevon Diggs is in, and he gives up 500 yards a game. But, he makes 10 catches, so, cool.
Fred Warner has to be in the Pro Bowl. Or Bobby Wagner? What? Okay, whatever. Trevor, who's yours?
Well, I will say Aaron Jones is a first alternate. Sewell is an alternate, as are Rashawn Gary and Corey Bojorquez. So that's, depending on, at least they're named, I guess. For me, it would probably have to be Royce Newman. No.
Fuck off.
I couldn't even say that without laughing. I would probably have to say Devondre Campbell. Although I will say I'm not surprised, right? I don't think anybody's surprised about that. He's been really solid, but I feel like nobody outside of Green Bay is really paying attention. They're more paying attention to the Micah Parsons, which is fair. But I think if you had to pick one snub, he's got to be the guy.
Whoa. Okay, so I went to Sporting News just to see what they have. They have Kenny Clark as an inside linebacker.
Huh.
Okay.
He's a reserve too, so I don't know how that works.
They have, instead of writing interior defensive linemen, they wrote them all as inside linebackers. So maybe there's no inside linebackers in the Pro Bowl this year?
That can't be
I don't
right.
know. No one's got them. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I don't even know who's snubbed. I like Devondre Campbell, but if his position's not in there, then fuck. Mercedes? I don't think the running backs deserve it, except for James Conner's in it, and that dude sucks. He just falls forward. He does nothing else. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm kind of thrown for a loop here just because I feel like I'm getting gaslighted or gaslit, whatever. The inside linebacker position never existed. I've just been imagining them back there.
Just be happy they have the line there.
That's like the Berenstein Bears or whatever.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That's not true.
They just completely eliminated it and made it seem you're living in a simulation, Zach.
I guess.
Is anybody else confused as to what the hell the Berenstein's Bears has to do with anything?
It's the Mandela effect.
Yeah, it's the Mandela effect.
What did the Berenstein Bears have to do with anything? What is going on? It's a children's
How are you
book.
so lost?
Because
I'm
Yeah.
confused what the Mandela effect has to do with
everyone
Berenstein
thought
Bears.
Berenstein was spelled one way, but it was actually spelled the other way.
It's
Who
AIN.
gives a
It's
shit how it was
Berenstain.
spelled?
Well, that's the
Because the inside linebackers never existed. It's the Mandela effect. We all thought they were there, but it was just a figment of our imagination the entire time.
And how do
You
the
know?
Packers run a 2-3 on third down?
They don't. Maybe that's how. I don't know. Maybe that guy was onto something, and I don't know.
I don't know
I
the way
want to
it's
end the show.
You're right. I
I
was gonna say
don't know what to do.
Just end it right there.
the way that 2-3 is looking is more looking like a 4 with maybe a 1 back there.
I guess.
Well, not even. They had 10 guys in the field one play.
That's true. That's true. That was a bold
10
strategy that did not pay
fucking
off. To the Packers' credit or defense, it is week 15. We have a lot of time to figure stuff out. So, I mean, we're working through the kinks right now. Early part of the season. Doesn't matter. We're fine. We're fine. Do we have to say anything else about Pro Bowl? I'm kind of freaking out. Can we get off it? Should we talk about the game? Okay.
Why isn't Mason Crosby on there? Where's our long snapper?
I think it's fairly obvious why Mason Crosby isn't on there.
Yeah, it's
I don't
called
know. Do they have a
ageism,
kicker in the
that's
Pro
why.
Bowl?
Does that
Just because he's
position
old, he's a
exist?
silver fox.
That's why.
The hair.
The long
hair
snapper is
ages
the
to
Falcons'
get
long
in.
snapper. How did he get in there? How did he
How does-
sneak in?
How does
They
someone
had no other
distinguish what's
players.
better? Yeah, maybe
Should've been Cameron Cheeseman.
maybe it's like the MLB where they have to include one player from each team.
Long snapper. Hey, congratulations, Falcons. You deserved it. Okay, let's talk about the Ravens game. I think everything played out as to how or why Trevor and I both said that we'd be more scared to face Huntley. He looked better than I thought. He didn't look amazing. He took what the Packers defense gave them, and the Packers defense gave him a lot. So congratulations to him. Obviously, the headlines coming out of the game continues to be special teams because that's what everyone was focused on. I do have video clips again. I don't have one of the first punt. Obviously, Bojorquez punted it really high to give the coverage team more time to get down there. Yadam was running with his eyes closed, apparently, and ran directly into the returner super early. If anyone listens to Pat McAfee's show, Chuck Pagano was on there today talking about Mo Drayton because he was an assistant under him. And he basically said the same thing we've been saying. So I guess if you don't want to listen to me, you can listen to Coach Pagano. Basically saying, like, you can scheme things up. You can drill it a million times in practice. Mo Drayton's not the one running down there to make a tackle. And it's just a football IQ thing. Like knowing where you are, knowing where the ball is, knowing that stuff. You at some point you have to realize, oh, these are professional athletes somehow. And Adam's a moron, man. Like, I don't know what else to say. We have nobody to play these positions.
Like, how do you look at that play and say Mo Drayton special teams, right? Like, any kid above the age of, 5 knows that when a guy calls for a fair catch, you can't touch him. And, it didn't even look like he even tried to hold up. He was just like a kid running into a candy store. Like, he just ran straight into him. And I just, do you really think Mo Drayton is such a bad coach that he didn't hit that or didn't tell these guys how to play that? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it just seemed like Adam was sort of trusting the timing that was going on, probably in practice or whatever, the entire week. So this is how long Bojorquez punts usually take to get there and land and whatever, which is a stupid thing to do because what if he shanks it? What if he does a million things? And this one was punted high. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. Maybe he was told to punt it high so the coverage team could get down there and hopefully there wouldn't be a return, which at this point in the season would be a win for the Packers if there's just a fair catch. Yeah, it's bad. I did write down, we remember Adam before the season was traded for Josh Jackson. Josh Jackson consistently got better every single year as a special teams player for the Packers. Packers sacrificed special teams to bring in Adam because we needed a cornerback. Turns out he's no good at football. He's not playing defense at all. He's barely playing special teams. Josh Jackson now starting on special teams for the Chiefs, so he'll probably go win a Super Bowl, probably make a nice big special teams play in the Super Bowl. Congratulations to him. Hopefully it's at least against the Packers. It'll be a little bittersweet. But it's just one of those things when I say systemic, like it's a systemic issue. That's clearly a move that we saw where we traded special teams for defense because we thought, I think the idea was probably that he would be the number 3 corner and number 4 corner, but he's clearly the last on the roster. So,
you know what's funny about that is now it's almost that we have, once Jair comes back, and almost an excess of corners.
True. I think we do have corner. We have talent at that position. Adam's not amongst that talent. And he shouldn't be on special teams. We also have Rasul Douglas playing special teams. I'll show a clip. Probably shouldn't play special teams. He's slow. Like when we signed him, I said he's slow, but he's got good ball skills. That's like the opposite of what we need on special teams, but whatever. Kevin King's playing special teams still. He was a little bit better this week. I don't know. Let's get into this kickoff here. Actually, again, go to the Flurry Sports YouTube channel. Trevor, look at me saying it first before we talk about it for 30 minutes.
Forgot to do that last week.
Yeah. Sorry, listeners. That probably was interesting. But youtube.com/Flurry Sports. Playing at kickoff here. This was after that punt, obviously. We're looking at 14-14 game. This is one of the plays people are criticizing Mo Drayton for. And again, it's pretty much people who don't know what they're talking about or just don't care to sound smart. So, by the way, I'm sick of these camera angles, but that's neither here nor there. So we kick it down here. It's another kick, not even in the end zone. Obviously, I think Bajorquez should be the kickoff guy so we can get a couple touchbacks, but whatever. Going forward. So everything is collapsing on him. It's looking pretty good, I would say. We're doing a good job. Okay. Rasul Douglas is here after he cuts it back. This is an easy tackle. We're looking at a nice stop, 25-yard line here, so everything's good. Completely misses a tackle. Davis completely misses a tackle. How many Black Forces are out of bounds? I would love to know how that's Mo Drayton's fault at all. Anybody have any idea how? Because it just seems like missed tackles, which seems to be characteristic for this Packers defense, Packers special teams, etc.
I guess Mo Drayton needs to scheme up a way to have them literally in their lap. Like literally, because figuratively, they can't make the tackle. So they literally need to be schemed into on top of them to make the tackle. Because they just don't make the play.
The thing is, too, with it getting cold out and playoffs coming up, missed tackles are just an incredible way to get your defense and special teams tired. Just bouncing, keep bouncing off of backs, keep bouncing off of guys. Like, the first guy who touches them on special teams, with how bad the special teams is, needs to at least slow him down, make him change direction or something. You can't just let him run right by you. And then, you have to get off your blocks, and it seems obvious that it's going to take 2 or 3 guys to take him down. But I don't see why every player is not down there, making the tackle.
Yeah, and I just, bring that same energy, I guess, for Joe Barry. Like, Packers defense is missing tackles also. So if there's missed tackles there, and I honestly think people don't understand missed tackles or why the Packers special teams is bad. Like, we watched this clip here, and I think it's obvious when you watch it isolated like that. But, like, everybody's there. And if he was tackled at the 22, 23-yard line, not only is that, a fine special teams play, that's a great special teams play. Like, what's he supposed to do?
It's because PFF doesn't have special team grades on pressures and hurries and missed tackles. If they had that, well, then suddenly it would be pretty damn obvious what the problem is.
That's not true. They do have special teams grades. Would you like me to tell you who was the best graded special teams player for the Packers?
No. No, I don't want to know.
Hey, it's actually good. It's Shamar John Charles. Congratulations to you. You did nothing the entire game. But hey, friend of the show. We can't find you, but we found you on the top of the list here. Did he even get... Hey, you got a tackle. That's not true. Congratulations to you.
He must have done really good running straight.
Hey, that's all we're asking for.
Right.
Yeah. So, whatever. Missed tackles on special teams, and it froze. Never mind. Congratulations, Pro Football Focus.
Every time we call them
You were
out, it
asking
freezes so
you
that
were
we can't
asking
prove our
too much
point.
of them, Zach. You were asking. They like to like spill all this facts, but when you ask of them, they shut down.
It's like
So,
asking Packer fans to think. It just doesn't work.
I guess so.
Well,
I apologize to Collinsworth.
Packers fans, you're either thinking or drinking. So
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
Luke said he's supposed to find me to tailgate, but I don't know. He's probably gonna get lost.
He might.
you're not wrong.
Honestly, you should be happy if he just responds to you. I texted this dude after halftime and didn't get a response till Monday.
Had stuff to do. Okay, they finally came back up. Packers had 2 special teams missed tackles. It was Douglas on that one. Oh, and it was also Tyler Davis on that same play. So, again, both players had a position or had a chance to make it play, would have saved it. No one would have talked about it. It wouldn't have been called a good special teams play because when there's good special teams plays, people usually ignore it. But, you know, this is the other special teams play I want to bring up here. And this one, maybe I will slam Mo Drayton a little bit. Because I don't know what the fuck is his deal on this one. So, equal opportunity here. Mo Drayton, what's going on? This is a third quarter kickoff. You see how the Packers are lined up. We got 2. You can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's just I'm doing it on my phone, so that's why I'm like zooming in.
Well,
Really
I'll describe
tiny.
it so beautifully you'll be able to close your eyes and see it.
Paint a picture in your head.
Yeah. We got 2 deep. We got people over here. We see this ton of green space right here. And I assume Justin Tucker made an audible because he's super well coached, one of the best kickers in NFL history. He does a little pooch punt or kick, whatever, and lands it right here in this open area. The issue with this is Patrick Taylor, who I can only assume has 0 returning experience whatsoever, ever. And then the other person that's going to be deep that you'll see is, man, what's his name? Jonathan Garvin. Yes, that Jonathan Garvin. And not only does he not have return, like not only should he not be deep ever because he's an outside linebacker, he doesn't even have experience on the return team. Like I think he's taken 18 return snaps all season, and 3 or 4 came in this game. I don't know. Well, like, okay, let's watch this. So now you see him. There he is right there. Here's Patrick Taylor. Justin Tucker's going to kick it right here because he's a good football player and knows the Packers are going to have to make a play. So this happens. There's Garvin. Taylor's back there. He does that because he's not a returner. He's an outside linebacker. Taylor's not a returner. He's a backup running back. Like, one, you have to be able to find somebody better than Jonathan Garvin. 2, Packers clearly don't have the personnel, right? Like, that's very obvious. But there has to be somebody better than Jonathan Garvin. I know he's there to block, but he definitely should be up front, not that far back.
He looked like one of those little kids in baseball that, like, it gets thrown to him and he, like, you know, kind of shields himself with his hands. I will say the one positive to this, I was shocked that these idiots dove on the ball instead of trying to scoop it, pick it up, and not picking up the ball. So I think we need to give him a gold star for that. But watching this live, it was like, guys, we can't feel the ball. Like, what are we doing? Like you said, the formation was bad, but it's still like, good Lord, we have 2 Bill Buckners out there. What is this?
Yeah, and that's something Like every team in the NFL saw this, right? This is on tape. It's going to happen again in the playoffs, especially if the Packers give that sort of look, especially if the kicker sees, oh, there's an outside linebacker back deep for the Packers to return a kick. The only thing that would be worse is Rashawn Gary back there with a club. Like, I don't know what we're doing, man. So this one, I'll say, I would assume this should be on Mo Drayton. Like, you can do better. Mo, talking to you. Please do better. But, like, also, let's get him some help, please. Like, let's decide on one player. Let him pick one. And we can cut Tyler Davis or anybody. I don't care. It does not matter. Just give him somebody who can play on special teams, please.
Isaiah McDuffie.
He played this week. I can't believe you didn't know he was the 5th best graded special teams player for the Packers this week. Which is congratulations to you. I might be wrong on that. No, I'm right. Okay, good for you. Was not graded well, by the way, but 5th best. More from that game. I wrote down a note. I watched this again right before we went live with the fantasy show. If Tyler Huntley ran left during the game, the Packers would have lost. There was so many, like, the pocket just crashed, and there was nobody over there. The only time he ran to the left was when there was literally nobody over there, when the Packers had 10 people.
Right. I was going to say, if Lamar's in, he does that. I think Lamar wins that game. A little more experience, a little more running. But, yeah, I totally agree. You know, it's like when we were saying Tua can't throw to the right side of the field, like Tyler Huntley can't run to the left side of the field.
Even when there was nobody over there, he, like, paused. Like, wait a second. I can't do this.
I think he was just trying to be, unlike Lamar, he was trying to be a quarterback. So I get it. When he rolls to the left, it's way harder to throw when you're a right-handed quarterback. So I'm sure he was looking downfield. He wasn't looking to run. But if he was in the mindset of run first, I mean, Packers would have been in deep shit because there's nobody there. And
it already felt like we were in deep shit. Like, it already felt like we were in deep shit. Like, the first half was terrible. It was way too close of a game.
Way too close. Trevor talked about it, I think, on the fantasy show a little bit, or alluded to it. I'm not sure if Darnell Savage is the guy to cover someone a foot taller than him and 100 pounds heavier than him. Especially when he's aggressive in jumping the routes when he's not in position to do so. Like, I don't know what the decision was for that, but it should have been adjusted a little bit quicker, I think.
There are two things that piss me off about that. First are, like, look at Mark Andrews making this catch when Savage was, like, stride for stride and decided to go behind him because that's a good decision. And then the other thing was, like you said, the adjustment. It took us, like, 3 drives to make the adjustment. And the first one only stopped because they went for it and didn't get it. Like, did it really take you that long? And then I think the last drive they scored a touchdown. We had a tight or a linebacker on them the whole time until the red zone, and then we put Savage or a cornerback back on him because that would suddenly work again. It just drove me insane.
Those first 3 drives, didn't it feel like Mark Andrews had the same catch on all 3 drives?
Basically, like, they weren't stopping it. And man, I don't know. Savage, like, undercut it to jump that first one, that really big gain. And not only did he miss, it was underthrown to the side he was undercutting from to make it even easier for him. And he was still late. It was a disaster. I know he knew he had help over the top with Amos, and Amos eventually made the tackle. But boy, man, I don't know. It would be nice to have a coverage linebacker that's not named Henry Black, like, there to help. I know, I would assume that was the initial thought with Jalen Smith, and Jalen Smith ended up being worse than expected, I assume. But there's people out there. There still are people out there. Quan Alexander is playing well for the Saints, Trevor. I know you wanted the Packers to sign him. You stayed healthy. That's kind of cool. I don't know, man. Like, we just need something, because you look at the NFC, you look at the teams the Packers are going to play. a lot of teams have good tight ends, and it's going to come back to haunt us because we keep putting mistakes and weaknesses on tape over and over and over, and it's going to culminate.
You know, the interesting thing is for all the crowds that talked about like sign this guy, like sign OBJ, give him what he wants. It's interesting the same crowd isn't talking about investing in special teams. You know, if Mo Drayton is so bad, well, shit, let's just sign some good players and cover him up since he's a terrible coach, right?
Yeah, we need to sign a new coach. That's what everyone says. I would love for one person, everyone's saying that, name one special teams coach. Just one. Because you don't even know their names. There's like no shot. I don't know their names. Fuck it. Like, it doesn't matter. It's, I don't know. Also, Mo Drain's coaching 30 players, by the way. And they're the bottom 30 on the roster. Offense, LaFleur is coaching, like 16 guys? Joe Barry's probably coaching between like 18 to 22 guys.
Coaching,
Yeah.
quote unquote,
Yeah.
coaching.
They're like, I'm pretty sure like Kenny Clark makes Joe Barry a snack for lunch every day, reads him a book.
I still don't think he's met Daryl Slayton.
I don't think so either. But yeah, so it's like Mo Drain's coaching everybody on the entire team, as shown by even people like AJ Dillon on kick return and kickoff. AJ Dillon, terrible blocker on kick return, by the way. Let's get him off of there. Obviously, the replacement is who knows, so he kind of needs to stay on there. But like he really shouldn't be there. Man, I don't know. People are just really dumb. I don't get it. I hope I bring some light to it. Like, hey, this is why the special teams is bad. But I understand I'm just a negative person. So
I will say you helped my dad see the light. So you know, you got one at least. You got one. Look at you.
I'm just here to change one life, Trevor. So if I could change one, what a success. I wrote down Rashawn Gary made a first quarter tackle and did absolutely nothing the rest of the game. I was going to say earlier, Luke, you said that Rashawn Gary was a alternate or whatever for the Pro Bowl. That's kind of the equivalent of like getting a hurry, but didn't, finish the sack to make the Pro Bowl. So that's
He wasn't even an alternate. He was a reserve. He couldn't even do that.
Even better.
So that's a hurry. He didn't even get a pressure. He got a hurry for the Pro Bowl.
Exactly. Attaboy.
I think he just got a rush.
He's so bad, man. He's not good. I don't know what we're doing here.
Just to speak on that a little bit, there was many instances in this game where Huntley was having success running to the right. Rashawn Gary just ran straight up field on every single one that Huntley just ran right through the guard tackle spot.
Yeah. And I think there was also a play too where I think it was Gary did that coming up field too much, and then Amos and somebody else came down like to fill the hole when Huntley was running, and they both somehow took the wrong lane. So not only do we have a guy going too far uphill, but neither of the guys, like you have two guys, just split. Couldn't even do that.
We also understand Packers don't practice tackling, right? And they didn't in the offseason either. And that's a philosophy choice by Matt LaFleur to like keep people healthy, which, I mean, you could debate how well that worked looking at the Packers roster. But if you wonder why maybe tackling's an issue, maybe that's something to point to. I also wrote down the Packers got away with like 14 or 15 false starts.
Mm-hmm.
John Runyon loves to start early. And you know what? He didn't get called, so I'll take it. Did it on the touchdown, did it on another big third down. Lucas Patrick did that thing where he whips his head up, and some refs are calling him for false start and stuff, some aren't. When he moves his head up, that's when Runyon goes. He's ready to go. And I don't know. I have no idea how it wasn't called, but it kept happening. And that's going to bite us because he's for sure going to get called in the NFC Championship. And then everyone's going to be like, oh, he didn't do it all year until now. But he starts
we're going to play the Buccaneers, and it's going to happen every call. Like, it's going to be first and 30, and everybody's going to be like, how do we get here? It's
every time, man. If he gets away with it, though, good for him. I also wrote down the tight ends played super good this game. They were so good. Even Tyler Davis had some good blocks, and I think he had one catch or whatever. Mercedes Lewis is turning back the clock. He's so damn good. DeGuara had some nice blocks, running routes. He's kind of looking like Robert Tonyan, making him kind of expendable, which fine with me. But I still wish we had Delaney Walker, but I understand we'd cut somebody from special teams to sign him. But I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on the tight ends? I think they're really kind of growing into their own, which is good.
I got a question that I will pose to you three. Is there any sexier 37-year-old tight end than Mercedes Lewis? He was like poetry in motion.
How old is Gronk?
Nah,
Not that
he's
old,
pretty
I don't
young
think.
still.
Okay.
He's like 34 or something. Not even.
Probably not. Yeah. Delaney Walker's close. They would be the sexiest tight end combo in the league. That's for sure.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing the tight ends played well, especially with the Ravens triple covering Devontae Adams.
Yeah. And clearly Rodgers loves that play action to Lewis, and it works every time. So, man, he just needs to get into the end zone with one of those.
That wasn't a rhetorical question, Luke. Is it, in fact, the sexiest 37-year-old tight end you've seen? Luke and Janet.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, do you guys see what's going on with my hat? With my hat?
Yes, we do.
Sick, dude.
I don't know why.
Another visual aid. We promise Luke is not intoxicated nor under the.
I'm not. This is wild. Why is
It's kind of cool. I don't know.
How do you drive at night?
This computer's too old.
How do you drive at night? Just get distracted by any glittery thing.
I was thinking it was like one of those Christmas light things that like project onto the house from the outside.
No, we don't have one of those.
Oh shit! I should have worn my ugly Christmas sweater today. Beside the point.
Do it for an off-season show. Do it in the summer sometime.
Yeah, do it July 9th.
Yeah,
we'll do a very Christmas specific date, but I'll try to do it.
Okay, other notes. I said Tyler Lancaster is one big motherfucker. He is the largest human I've ever seen. And TJ Slayton's listed as 3 inches taller and 30 pounds heavier. And I disagree. Like, that might be what stats tell you. I'm telling you, Lancaster is the largest human I've ever seen. He's so big. And his shoulder pads are way too big for him, too.
Agreed. Awesome. I wish I could be as good in one thing in life as Tyler Lancaster is at taking up space.
Yeah, for sure. He's great at it. He's so big, dude. He's huge.
I've heard some people call him the white BJ Raji.
Absolutely. He played well too. I'm happy about it. I mean, they obviously Kenny Clark was out. It's interesting that they didn't increase Slayton's snaps at all. Mm-hmm. They kind of just a little bit more Lancaster, mostly more of Kingsley, Kiki, which whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's not like it worked, but it wasn't the worst thing. So I don't know. I think Slayton probably should see a little bit more snaps, but I don't know if he can handle more. So whatever, he could do it. Do what you got to do, Slayton. We got your back. I have nothing else because, yeah. Anything else to say about the Ravens game?
I do. Real quick,
go ahead, Trevor.
Yeah, I love MVS. He looked good. Shout out to him for making some big catches.
He caught one with his hands too.
Right.
I've never seen that before. He always catches them with his body.
With MVS clicking and, the run game got going a little bit there in that game, the run game's been solid all year. Like, this offense is just clicking right now. It's like damn near unstoppable, it feels like. I mean, other than, miscommunications or bad play calls here and there. But in my mind, this offense is going to carry the Packers like it usually ends up doing. I know the defense was kind of on the game to start the year. That's kind of fallen off the wagon. So this might go back to an Aaron Rodgers show in the playoffs where, probably should be. But this is going to be another year that it's going to be tough. Rodgers got to stay healthy, especially with a broken toe. This offense looks good, though, now.
If Rodgers continues to do what he's done the past 3 or 4 games now, do you think the media gives him the MVP, or do you think they pass on it?
I think I saw
I think we'll give it to him.
The odds are Rodgers leading now. I know it's not media,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I think
I
so.
like
I
that.
think I saw an article on that. I probably saw like the title of it, but I didn't read it.
I
He's
like
the odds
plums,
favorite, but
Right.
journalists get votes, and they all hate him.
Right. And everyone loves Tom Brady.
I think Tom needs one more
Especially
bad
Tom Brady.
game, especially after that. But I can also see the narrative being Tom Brady doesn't have receivers, which it's like that's hilarious. But
Yeah,
beside the point.
that's true.
Shout out to
I'd
that
love
guy.
to have Tyler Johnson.
Yeah. Shout out to that guy on Twitter who told me that the Buccaneers receiving core and the Packers receiving core were the same in terms of skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't know if
Alan
that-
Lazard's great.
I don't know if that much credit to Devontae
He did his
Adams,
homework.
but
That drop on Lazard was incredibly sad. Like he got bailed out by that penalty.
Yeah, it seems like every week too. Just when MVS figures out how to catch, you suck the power Space Jam style away from Alan Lazard. Apparently, I don't know. Oh well. Luke, did you have anything else about the game, or Janet?
I don't think so. I thought if there was a hard fought win against a good team, like I said, I think Lamar Jackson and they win that game, but I don't think Baltimore's a bad team by any means, especially how they're playing with all of their injuries.
Yeah, they got a ton. Obviously, the Packers play on Christmas Day. Janet's in town for it. Packers are 7.5-point favorites. 45.5 points is the game total against the Browns. Browns are dealing with a shit ton of COVID issues. I would assume they get most of the guys back this week. I guess maybe that's a wrong assumption. But I think like 10 to 15 guys were probably out last week, including Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, Kareem Hunt, their offensive line, Austin Hooper, defensive players. So I guess they're well rested. We'll see if they have any COVID, aftermath issues, I guess. But I don't know. Janet, you're in town. Tell us, what are your thoughts for the game? How are you feeling? Does the city have a buzz to it?
Well, I'm feeling
No.
terrible,
No.
but I just want to close my eyes and go to sleep. But no, I'm not worried about this game. Honestly, I feel like the Browns have not had a complete team. Like their team has been all over the place. No communication between any of the play. Like I don't see chemistry on the field with them at all. I get so bored whenever I'm like, I used to like watching the Browns play for fun, and now I'm just like, nah, I don't feel like watching them. So
Mhm.
I'm really confident that the Packers are going to take this. I think Rodgers is fired up, especially because he's about to break a record. He talked about how like he used to read. I don't know if y'all have been watching pressers. How he used to read like the programs when he was behind Favre. He used to read the programs just to like see what kind of facts they would throw in there, and he would see all of Favre's stats and be like, "Damn, I'm never gonna get there. Like that is so far away." And now he's about to pass him, so I think that's pretty exciting. I think he's pumped for that. Honestly,
Mhm.
he said that he was excited about it too. So I think he's gonna play really fun on Christmas. I'm confident.
Luke, same thoughts?
Just to add on to that though, the one thing I'm worried about is one player I think on the Browns can ruin this team or can ruin this game for the Packers is Myles Garrett. You need to put at least a hand on him, otherwise he will be in the backfield on every single play. He's such a good athlete and such a good football player. But the media, nobody's saying it. I mean, I'll say it. The Browns suck. Everyone thought, the Browns, Browns are going to be Super Bowl contenders. Baker Mayfield's not a good quarterback. If he
You
plays or
remember
not,
that Sports Illustrated? You remember that Sports Illustrated cover they were
yeah,
on? Like it was their year. I think that was like in 2018 though.
right,
Yeah, and then Freddie Kitchens came to town,
yeah, but
dropped a elbow on that chance,
right.
destroyed it.
I said it on the fantasy football show, but I do think Cleveland, the only thing they have on offense is Nick Chubb, so he'll get going a little bit. It definitely feels like a Packer game where you give up 2 touchdowns to the best player on the team and still win the game. So I'll give the running game probably get going. Passing game scare me at all. It's gonna be cold. It's not gonna be too cold. Everyone's gonna be pumped up. Like Janet said, Rodgers gonna be pumped up. I'm sure the whole team is gonna be pumped up.
So
And
what's the weather? What's the weather gonna be like? Because my phone says one thing, and my uncle apparently, the one that I was talking about that I want to go visit, in Chippewa Falls, he's like a guru of the weather, and he said it's gonna be the negatives. I don't
No.
know. I'm not
Unless
good at
he's
Not
thinking
Wisconsin.
there.
Celsius, it is not negatives.
I come.
Your meteorologist Trevor Land of the Flurry Sports podcast, going from doctor to meteorologist week to week. 33 degrees, cloudy, low of -6 degrees Celsius, which would probably be 24,
Okay.
23, something
Yeah,
like
because
that.
I look like a crazy person with my little snow boots on in Texas because we have no seasons up there or down there.
I
But
should get a green
yeah.
screen for that. I'll just do the weather
Oh,
behind me
okay,
every
yeah,
time.
do the weather. Yeah,
You
because
should.
I don't like that you're in the shadows right now.
You're
Hey,
killing the vibe.
says the guy who has sunglasses on. All right.
Hell yeah.
What are you hiding there, Luke? Crazy person. Um, on a real though, I think Luke hit it on the head about Chubb being the only good player. Kareem Hunt, since he's come back, has not been the same player at all. Like he was doing very well to start the season, not only in fantasy but in actual football. And I think if the game was played back in those times, I think it would have been a completely different game. I think it would have been closer. But with him kind of being a shell of himself and Baker Mayfield not being able to throw a ball, like I don't see how the Packers lose unless both special teams and Rodgers has a uncharacteristically bad game because of Garrett.
Yeah. Browns offensive line's also beat up. They got a couple guys out for the year. That's a massive deal because that was clearly the strength of their team. I kind of disagree a little bit. I think the Browns are going to move the ball on the Packers pretty easily. I think David Njoku is going to beat us. I think Austin Hooper is going to have some plays. I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to absolutely decimate Eric Stokes, who's been playing unbelievably bad, by the way. People don't know this because he got the top coverage grade on Pro Football Focus, but I think he gave up 7 catches last game. All he does is give up catches because he trails people. He's fast enough to make up ground, but he loses at the line of scrimmage every play. Yeah, I'm scared of Myles Garrett. I'm really scared because not only does he, beat offensive tackles, he hurts quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd really like to keep him away from Aaron Rodgers at all costs. If he gets even close, I want to sacrifice Jordan Love. I'll take the loss. We'll still have the number 1 seed. Take Jordan Love's head off. I do not care about this game whatsoever. Packers should win. But this is one of those games where you need to avoid a big injury. And it just seems like that's going to happen. And I'm really afraid of it.
That feels like how it is the rest of the way in the regular season, is just avoiding injury.
True. It's kind of... I'm also happy. It sucks that we don't have David Bakhtiari back, but I'm happy he's not playing his first game back against Myles Garrett. Because, again, that also spells disaster. We don't need this. We need David Bakhtiari for the playoffs. We need Jair Alexander for the playoffs, even though he'd probably have a field day against Baker Mayfield. No pun intended. But I don't know, man. Aaron Rodgers is fine. I think we're all, at least from the fantasy show, we're in agreement that Davante Adams is probably.
There goes any credibility we had.
David Adams is a great football player. Davante's probably going to catch that first touchdown. Not only will the record be passed for Rodgers passing Favre, it'll also set the record for most combo touchdowns in Packers history. Rodgers and Adams will pass Rodgers and Jordy. It's also a day after Davante Adams' birthday. There's just a lot of things working for it. It's one of those things where Aaron Rodgers is probably putting it on his vision board in his house, and he's going to manifest it. It's going to happen. Yeah, and if he wants, it just seems like if they want it to happen, they could score at any point. You know?
Right. It's early in the decade, but this is Luke's bet of the decade. Put all your money, all your house, everything that you own on Devontae Adams' first touchdown.
I want to look at the odds for that. It wasn't there last night, but if they have it, because it's going to be good odds, I would assume. Luke, while I look this up, is the stopping Myles Garrett your key for the game?
It
Or
has
do you
to
have
be.
something else?
They have to be double teaming him, and they have to have running back help. In my mind, with how banged up this offensive line is, with how bad this offensive line is, even when it's not banged up, Myles Garrett is going to shred through one guy, probably shred through two guys. If you can just give Rodgers another half a second with a chip from a running back or a chip from a tight end, it's going to make a world of difference to keeping the franchise quarterback healthy and to winning this game. Because, like I said, Myles Garrett can easily get in the backfield every single play, in my mind. And you bring Rodgers down 3 times in the first quarter, and then the whole team's out of whack for the rest of the game.
Completely agree. FanDuel and Betway both do not have touchdown props for this game. I'm looking
Cowards.
on DraftKings right now. I know. They're waiting for us to break it down. We're line setters. We're sharks here. Yeah, it doesn't look like DraftKings has it either. I do think that's a good bet, though. I hope that he gets the first touchdown. I hope it's not like a Aaron Jones run in or something. I wish there was a bet for first passing touchdown because that's for sure what it's going to be. But yeah. Janet, what's your key to victory?
I agree. And also stop Chubb, just because I know. I mean, we all know how the Packers are at stopping the run. It's pretty much a difficult task for us. So I would say that as well.
Trevor?
I would say get Baker behind early to be a little different. Like if the Packers can score first and they force a turnover or a bad play, I think they can be a little more free with the offense. I think the defense can play a little more loose, and I don't think Baker Mayfield is good enough to lead a comeback on the road, especially not at Lambeau on Christmas Day against Aaron Rodgers with everything going on. Yeah, he's a terrible quarterback. So like if he's behind by 2 scores, I don't want to say it's over because obviously it's the Packers, but it's increasingly unlikely every second that he's down because he can't do it.
His quarterback coach is the former quarterback coach that Gutekunst fired from the Packers without asking Aaron Rodgers about that. So maybe he'll share some Lambeau secrets. Who knows with Baker? I guess my key is I think we just need to finish sacks on Baker Mayfield. Obviously, it's tough against teams or players like Huntley and those mobile quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield's incredibly broken. He's got 5-6 injuries right now, and honestly is a detriment to the Browns. Like he's hurting the team, and we need to make sure he's hurting the team more. Obviously, if we get ahead, that means less running. And if we can make them feel it early on, especially get them hurt a little bit, make them panic, pissed off, that's good. So, guys, dare I say this is the Rashawn Gary game? Maybe this is it. We've been waiting. We've been waiting years for it. This is it.
Just every game. Just every game.
This is going to be the game.
This is
it.
Be
clipped.
This is it.
Hell no, it is not. Rashawn Gary will still. You don't put him on special teams. Screw it. You know why not?
No, we need somebody to finish plays.
I'm calling it now. Weird things happen at Christmas, man. Miracles. The Packers are going to score a special teams touchdown. Say it with me. The Packers are going to score a special teams touchdown. These idiots are going to find a way.
We can't even.
Y'all are haters. I don't care. They're going to score. There's magic in the air. There's something special going on. Some Brown player is going to slip. Some Packer player is going to finally block. And
Trevor, how do you think it happens?
The elves on the shelves are working hard at this moment 100%. To sprinkle their their
think-
magic dust.
Amari Rogers sucks, right? It's not going to be him. Okay, he'd need like
Correct.
20 blockers on the field. I'm
In
dead
20
ass serious.
minutes to get there.
Yeah, I dead ass serious. I think a Browns player like falls down, and so that's an easy block. I think our returner somehow breaks one tackle, and then the Browns are completely incompetent for a play because they're the Browns, and everybody else just runs straight into a Packer. It's, you know what? You gotta believe, man. It's Christmas, and it's the most unlikely thing to happen, which means it's going to happen at Lambeau Field. And when it does, I want props from every single one of you because all y'all hated. I don't want to hear it.
Trevor, it took them 2 guys last week to pick up a football on a kickoff.
One of them was a
pick it up, they
linebacker.
jumped on it.
One of them was a
Yeah.
linebacker. That's why they're not
They
going to
look
be.
like
He's
my
gonna be back there
kindergartners.
again.
Have you
Hey.
ever thrown a ball in a group of kindergartners and watched them try to get it? That's what it looks.
Nope, I
That's what it
haven't.
looks.
No,
Yeah,
because
they
we're
do.
not kindergarten teachers, so it'd be weird if we did. But also, that's going to be the play. I told you, one guy's going to fall down. You know, it's going to be magical. It's going to be magical.
The only way
Okay.
there's a special teams touchdown for the Packers is if there's a punt block. There's no chance if it's a return.
Well,
There's
hey,
no chance.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. You
Okay.
know who else said
Just
there
want
was
that
no
to be
chance?
clear.
Everybody said there was no chance the Bucks would win the championship, but guess what? They did, whether you accept it or not, Zach. So
Did they?
I think
Yeah.
the Bucks had a better chance of winning the championship than the Packers do of a special teams touchdown.
it couldn't have been.
I think the Bucks have a better chance to get a special teams touchdown
You're
for Christmas than the
right.
Packers do. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a Christmas miracle. It feels like Rashawn Gary is going to get like that 2-sack game, and then everyone will be like, Pro Bowl snub, like we've told you all along. On prime time, he's doing what he's done all season, which is not true. People are just stupid, but that's what it seems like.
That begs the question. What do you think would happen quicker? The Packers winning an NBA championship or the Bucks getting a special teams touchdown?
It's got to be a special teams touchdown. I don't trust the Packers to win anything good.
Not true. If they have Devin Funchess, he can punch. Game over. Instant match. You know who
Fair
can't
enough.
punch? Curtis Samuel. Just putting that out there.
Somehow, Curtis Samuel's been more productive than Devin Funchess this year, and neither have done jack shit.
But hey, he wanted to be Devin Funchess so bad he got put on IR directly after Funchess, man. I told you, they're the same player, same guy.
True. Both might make the playoffs this year. Funchess is with the 49ers somehow for some reason. Maybe he got cut by now, but he did. Maybe the Packers should sign him. Okay. Luke, what's your score prediction?
Real
Trevor,
quick.
you got something?
This is
Bring up
about
special
Luke.
teams again?
No, we actually, this is a throwback to early August. Fellow Flurry sports writer Justin Brownlow's a Browns fan. He said 31-20 Browns on Christmas Day. And Luke replied, Packers 18,638,094,832,000 and 720 Browns 0. Fixed it for you. So that was his prediction on the 6th of August. So Luke, do you want to change that?
You know, to be honest, I think I'm less scared of the Browns now than I was then.
That's fair. That's a good point.
Did you did you say the over under?
He's like times 2. He wants to multiply that.
Yeah, Packers favored by 7.5, over under 45.5.
Oh, okay. Give me Packers 31, Browns 14. Like I said, I think Nick Chubb gets 2 touchdowns. I think one comes early, one comes late, and they don't do anything else in between that.
Why do you
What about
steal
you,
my
Janet?
score predictions? I have the same one in my head right now. Yeah, I'm gonna say 31-14 Packers up because I want them to win. Because the last time I was here, they lost against the Lions. It was like 31-0. 31-0. Like we didn't even score anything. So now I needed to. Yeah, I need them to score.
So if we lose, we're all in agreement Janet is not to be let back into that stadium ever again, right? Okay.
Wait.
Seems like it.
Wait.
No.
A couple years, 2012, against the Titans, It was like 42-0, and Packers were up.
Yeah.
So, and I was at that game. So
Okay,
it's
but
like
3 strikes,
iffy.
you're out. So
Okay,
2 more
fine.
losses, you're gone.
Okay, so this is not the last one then. I still have to come back.
Yeah, that's right. Trevor, what's your
My
prediction?
I think the Browns are going to score more than 14. I don't trust this defense. I think the Packers score pretty quick a couple times too. So I think they score 24. I would have said the Packers are going to score 31, but that's wrong because they're going to score a special teams touchdown, so it's going to be 38. So it's going to be 38-24.
I bet they give up a touchdown on special teams.
And that's what I'll
very
claim I
likely.
said.
Wouldn't it be very Packers special teams not to get 7 though? They'll get that special teams touchdown, then the extra point will get blocked and returned, so then they'll get 2.
Or like they have it and then they high five at the 1, but they trip over each other's shoes, and he like fumbles into the end zone.
Yeah.
They're going to get 4 points on a special team touchdown.
It's upsetting.
Or they'll throw a pick 6 on the 2-point conversion. You never know.
Maybe. I think the Packers are going to put up quite a bit. I'm going to go Packers 30, Browns 20. Yeah, to your point, I don't trust this defense in the slightest. I think it'll probably be a late touchdown by the Browns to make it a little bit closer, but I think the Browns will still move the ball fairly well against this defense, who is not adjusting to a single damn thing, which is, I respect it, but maybe we should try. That could be fun too. Any other thoughts before we get out of here?
Brandon Staley is a terrible football coach.
It's not great.
He brings spice to the game.
If that spice was salt, yes.
No. You know, like when you make chili and you throw in a jalapeno just to spice it up a little bit, you don't know what's going to happen. That's Brandon Staley to the Chargers.
I think you know exactly what's going to happen when he
like, who knows what's going to happen when I put this in here?
I envision you shouting Kobe when you throw it in too.
Maybe the metaphor would have been better if I said you put a shot of vodka in a Mountain Dew.
Okay, one more thought. I drove 20 hours and we are, this is my new slipper that I bought. So I drove 20 hours. This is my Mexican DNA, like getting a slipper and ready to throw it at Zach, because I drove 20 hours and we're not having the Flurry Sports Olympics. And like I drove 20 hours.
And you didn't say hello to Janet's family at all this entire year, and you didn't see her when she was in town. That just seems kind of rude. So
that's true. That's true. If I was invited to Line and Kugels, maybe I would have showed up. Like
they live down the street from there. They live down the street. I got to see it.
What's that supposed to be?
What's the point of seeing a brewery? Shouldn't you just like go to the brewery? That's a little bit better.
Well, I think we're gonna go to it tomorrow. Honestly, we're waiting for my dad because if we go without him, he might kill us all.
Invite Zach.
Let's leave on that note. Merry Christmas to everybody. Sounds like a great holiday season in the Wilson household. But yeah, this was Lombardi Sweep. We'll be back next week. See ya.